On the program this week, the outgoing administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has made investments across various sectors of the economy. And today, we see the newest addition to the aviation assets in the country. From the new airports in Oyo and Ogun states to the commissioning of airport facility renovation projects across the country. And with 6 days to the end of the present administration, the aviation minister is optimistic that more projects will be commissioned before May the 29th. Welcome to Aviation This Week. I am Bukola Koka. Most Nigerians agree that the aviation sector has enjoyed significant rehabilitation work under this administration. Our first report outlines some of the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari in the aviation sector.
The General Aviation Terminal of the Murtala Mohammed Domestic Airport isn't short of its usual traveling traffic as Nigerians continue with their busy schedule. For some, the aviation sector has recorded some good projects, coming off the back of opening new airports in Oyo and Ogun State and the launch of fire trucks.
Our country and humanity is in there.
As the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace is in Lagos to commission the renovated first phase of the Protocol Lounge at the General Aviation Terminal.
This is one of the things that we've been doing. You all remember how this terminal was before. It was having an initial passenger capacity of 256 passenger capacity terminal. And due to need for expansion, we gave out a contract for 12 months, and we now increase the terminal to host passenger 1,024 passenger. It has 24 toilets, 2 VIP areas, 3 lifts, 5 airline offices, and 768 number passenger seating capacity with a space for reduced mobility passengers. This indeed is significant. I'm sure you would agree with me, this has been transformed. And this is part of the continuation and the efforts to leave civil aviation better than we met it.
According to the minister, who refused to speak on the reality of Nigerian Air before his exit from office, spoke extensively on other aviation investments under President Muhammadu Buhari.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in civil aviation had done extremely well. We are leaving aviation better than we met it. We have doubled the number of airlines, doubled the number of airports, quadrupled the number of passengers. Everywhere is blossoming. We become the fastest growing sector of the economy. We recovered out of COVID to be the second fastest growing country on earth after Colombia. With 111% out of COVID, we did extremely very well. We're still running the airports, even within COVID when we don't make a kobo. President Muhammadu Buhari had done a lot in civil aviation in Nigeria.
The event also featured a presidential award on the airport staff who returned a missing item.
Excuse me.
In a few days, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration will come to an end, but he leaves behind legacy projects across the country.
And now we recall the much talked about inauguration of 10 brand new high-capacity firefighting vehicles by the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, in Lagos. The minister said the 10 billion naira investment was made to improve the safety of flight operations at the nation's airports and that no investment was too much for critical safety infrastructure in local air travel.
10 brand new high-capacity firefighting vehicles have been rolled out by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria at Murtala Mohammed in Lagos to improve safety of flight operations in the country. The Lion Vulcan 6X6 brand major aerodrome rescue and firefighting vehicles carries 14,000 liters of water, 1,700 liters of foam with 250 kilograms powder capacity for each. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, alongside the Managing Director of FAN, Captain Rabiu Yadudu, hand over the equipment to rescue and firefighting officials. It will serve Lagos, Abuja and Kano airports.
You all remembered our children that left Abuja to Port Harcourt in the Sosoluso crash. We couldn't save those children because some of them, even though the airplane landed or crashed, they were still alive. We didn't have the adequate, proper fire cover to save those lives. And parents were seeing their children burning alive that they sent to school. That is so sad. The MD had just told you that in the last 15 years, there's not a single fire tender that has been supplied. We all cannibalize 2 or 3 to make one. And the absence of fire cover is number one reason to close down an airport. Even if you have them, you don't have enough number, you downgrade the airport to a lower category until when you close it completely. I don't know of anything, except maybe an obstruction on the runway. I don't know of anything that would happen to an airport or its absence will cause you to close down the airport completely. It's a very serious matter. These fire tenders, 10 of them, delivered, supplied by Gulf of Africa, we thank them, is over 12 billion naira. And certainly 12 billion naira is a huge amount of money to be deployed in one section of an airport.
To improve safety and security of flight operations, the Managing Director of FAN says continuous training will be carried out for airport officials, especially those who will be operating the machines.
This transformation cuts across 3 core areas, namely the rehabilitation, upgrade, and replacement of infrastructure nationwide, capacity development in terms of manpower and all our officers across Nigeria, training and manpower development, and then facility expansion and improvement. And it also monitors the discharge rate of between 6,000 to 10,000 liters per minute. The acceleration rate is 0 to 80 kilometers per hour in 30 seconds, which is well within the recommended standard limits. The truck can discharge while in motion, which means it has a professional pump and roll operation, and is equipped with under-chassis nozzles to tackle running fuel fire. The vehicles will be deployed to this airport, Murtala Muhammad International Airport, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano, while we are also processing for additional vehicles that will cater for Port Harcourt and Enugu. And this relief of the brand new 10 vehicles affords us the luxury of now having to easily redistribute the existing ones that are very old. This supply affords us the luxury of redistributing the old ones that are aged and unreliable for major repair and maintenance, and we can now improve the protection of the other airports, pending when the new ones come.
The newly acquired fire equipment vehicles will go a long way in addressing emergency issues at the airports, as the air rescue and firefighting departments have been asked to make the best of the gadgets in order to tackle any emergency.
On our interview segment today, the President Aviation Roundtable Initiative, Mr. Gbenga Olowo, scores the Buhari administration fair, urging the incoming administration to leverage on the gains made so far.
A recommendation for the incoming administration, if you are serious about aviation in Nigeria, is sanctity of contract. Watch my lips. Sanctity of contract. And if we're going to look at number one breach that Nigeria is breaching today, is this home remittance of foreign airlines from Nigeria. It is an absolute breach of international trade. Absolute breach of international trade. We're not doing these airlines a favor. They are delivering services that we need. that we are not able to reciprocate. We can't do it. If they shut down one day, there will be serious security challenges in this country. Airlines up to 5, 10, 7, they are in Nigeria, they are trading for 3, 4, 5 years, and their funds are here. As at end of March, the airlines backlog of home remittance is $718 million as at end of March. $780 million. And that accounts for 44% the backlog in the entire world. That means we are deliberately doing this, which should not be so. Airline home remittance, according to bilateral air services agreement, is that when airlines trade in your country, excess of earnings after taxes and all other expenditures must be repatriated back to their country because they needed the funds for a lot of other things at home, for their fueling, for their maintenance, for their expansion, name it. And that's going to happen to Nigerian Airlines when we go out. Air Peace is going to China. He's going to Israel. If he has excess funds back there, he should be able to remit them back to Nigeria. So we're breaching. And that's the incentive for investors. It's not only investors in the airline industry, investors in every other field. Let's open the window whereby passengers will elect. It's by election to pay either in Naira or in dollars. Not by compulsion, by election. That way, you will see that almost all the foreign airlines now, they are withdrawing their inventories from Nigeria. What do I mean? In the month of March, in the month of April, that we are, booking volume in Nigeria has dropped to 50%. They are not allowing their seats to be sold in Nigeria. Because if they get the funds, they won't be able to repatriate the money. They're blocking their seats. They are withdrawing inventory rather than quitting totally. And they might eventually quit. I remember in the is it early 90s or late 80s, we had the same experience in Nigeria. 4 airlines left this country because of this problem. I remember Scandinavian Airlines, Swiss Air, Iberia, and Varig Brazilian Airline. 4 major airlines. The trade between those 2 countries collapsed. Have we concluded the issue on the backlog of foreign airlines remittance? If we have, then national carrier subject. I have repeated severally that national carrier concept is outdated and is no longer fashionable. And that's why we couldn't give back to national carrier in 8 years. The contemporary thing today is flag carriers. No one single airline can comfortably reciprocate all the routes that the foreign airlines are operating today. Not a single airline. So Nigeria has to be intentional.
Coming up after the break, we'll stay with our assessment of the Muhammadu Buhari administration in the aviation sector as we get expert analysis on the deliverables seen in that sector. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now let's take a trip to one of the airport terminals in Lagos, where art lovers and sightseers now have the opportunity to enjoy a beautiful scenery as they travel. The Murtala Mohammed Terminal 2 local airport takes on a new look with artworks of Wilson Agu, an art lover, on display.
The dollar, yes, and this is the typical Morocco, the former Morocco, houses on stilts. I once had an exhibition in London, and most of the white people were very impressed, and they were telling me, this work depicts this the evil. of our coat of arms. This is the flag. People are making way. They have made space for the air. The eagle is carrying that air.
We are operators. We are not political people. We will continue to make our case based on law. And we believe that our case is insurmountable, is truthful, and it is only the best for the country. The mandate I gave to the management is create an environment where people can eat, can shop, can entertain, and in the process fly. It is not an environment where you come and queue in the sun because you want to fly. If you decide you want to come and fly in Emirates, you can go to we have a gallery for flowers. You can decide you want to buy flowers. You can decide, oh, look, I'm just going to have lunch before I travel. You can decide that, oh, I just want to even do my communications issue. All the big communication companies are here. You can decide that, oh, really, my flight is 4 hours time. I can go and stay in the lounge, which has internet services, which has food and everything, and do my business. That is the idea. What we have tried to do is to uplift the standard with the hope that anybody who wants to build an airport tomorrow will have all these standards incorporated into their airport.
We feel that this is the right place to be in. MM2 is a unique place. It's a pace setter and the first of its kind in the country. And the airports are a peculiar facility. It's meant to be the parlor of the country. It's meant to be the parlor of the state. Just like you make up your room and you leave your parlor for your strangers. Airports are like that. It's a welcoming space for everybody. So it ought to be a foremost projector of our culture. That's our feeling. That's why we opened the gallery here. The theme of the whole thing here is to have a platform where art can live, thrive, and interact with people. There will be different aspects of this gallery. There will be the normal component of the gallery where we will sell art, interact with art, and expose art to the people over the years and update art. There is also the space, a kind of a celebrity space, where we will have space for achievers in the society, where we'll have space for collectors, people who have promoted the art, want to say one or two things about them. It could be corporations, it could be individuals, but the most important thing is that we want to celebrate our own. We want to use this gallery as a platform to celebrate our own and encourage people.
And on the foreign scene today, it's on a sad note that we bring you an update of the unfortunate flight incident in Colombia, where authorities are still searching for passengers after their flight crashed within the Amazon area of southern Colombia.
Despite the heavy patrolling, Colombian authorities have only managed to find clues of 4 children who were missing after a plane crash in southern Colombia. What we found were footprints and clues. Our men, our teams are over there. It's the best the country has, the best men with the best technology. The children have been missing since May 1st, when the plane they were traveling in crashed in the thick of the jungle. 3 adults, including the pilot, died as a result of the crash, and their bodies were found inside the plane. The army has deployed over 150 elements, the search party, and locals and rescue dogs to find the children. The plane, a Cessna 206, was carrying 7 people on routes between Aracora in the Amazonas province and San Jose del Guevara, a city in Guevara province, where it issued a Mayday alert to engine failure in the early hours of May 1st. Preliminary information from the Civil Aviation Authority, which coordinated the rescue efforts, suggests the children escaped the plane and went into the rainforest to find help. Airplanes and helicopters from both Colombia's Army and Air Force participated in the rescue operations.
The Easter break is over, so Nigerians get back to their ever-busy daily lives. There are various means which people use to and from one point to another, but some of these services have some hindrances. We look at the airport infrastructure and its facilities to accommodate passenger traffic as passengers speak on their thoughts and share ideas. As passengers share ideas to enhance operations of airport services.
It was very convenient, appreciably, and the cost also was also moderate, and I mean, there are a lot of changes in the positive, and it's commendable. The facilities, the environment, the organization, the value for human being, the passengers, and one is encouraged to board the flights, given these improvements. And I think it's commendable.
For some other passengers, the present administration has done fairly well, but there are calls for improvement.
If there are plans to launch a national carrier, I think from by now we should begin to see signs of that on ground. For example, mock testing and all that to know whether this is quite feasible. We've done that in the past. Now, I was privileged to know about Nigerian Airways, even though I never flew it, but it never really lasted. And we've been able to partner as a country with other airlines, like I think Virgin Nigeria was one of them. It was good for some time. Then after some time, the whole thing fizzled away. And I think there are issues with policies on that. The policies need to be regulated and consistency in policies, so that when these national carriers, international carriers come in, they are sure that they are going into business and they are making profits, and not unstable policies that will destabilize them. I think that for Nigeria, if we have to have a national carrier, then it has to be purely business.
In Abuja, the story is not any different.
Indeed, it was a very smooth flight, beautiful flight, and we didn't have any problems. It landed well. Our loads are coming out in time. So the flight also took off in time. So it was good.
It was impressive because I thought I was actually going to miss my flight, because like the usual way, there's usually a delay. But I was surprised there was no delay. In fact, I was running to the airport because they were telling me, "Madam, you're missing your flight." So yeah, it was impressive. That was my first time experiencing that, though. It was prompt. Honestly, recently, I think there's a lot of improvement. That's what I would say. There's a lot of improvement recently. Like, it's impressive.
They speak more on the assessment of aviation services in the FCT.
Honestly, I think things are worsening at this particular airport. It's very hot. I had to wait for my pickup for about 30 minutes, and you could see that I'm kind of sweating. Even at the Benin airport, it was the same thing. They need to do something about the air conditioning. The carousel is equally the same problem. They're noisy. You don't know exactly where you want to pick your luggage. And those are the things they need to work on.
My flight was very good when it commenced, because I was supposed to fly 8 a.m. this morning. It was cancelled, so we flew at 1:20, but the flight was very, very good. When you cancel people's tickets, there should be compensation. It should not be a normal.
For a nation like Nigeria, all forms of transportation, if well implemented, will aid economic growth and human capital development, and citizens look forward to the administrative policies of the incoming government.
And that's our program this week. We hope you enjoy the flight. Thank you for watching. Join us again, same time next week. I am Bukola Koka. Stay safe.